Hi, what's up? Mr. Highway here. Today I'm going to share with you about algebraic equations, how you can get them 100% correct. Now in this sharing, I'll be covering 3 different types of equations. First, we have the simultaneous equations. In this question, it says solve the simultaneous equations 2y plus 5x equals to 7, 6x minus 5y is equals to 1. Now the first thing you have to do is to arrange the equation in the order ax plus by is equals to c, where a, b, c are constants and x and y are the variables. Now here we have 2y plus 5x. Look carefully, it's not 2x plus 5y, so we will rearrange it to become 5x plus 2y is equals to 7. That's equation 1. And then we will have in the second equation 6x minus 5y is equals to 1. Equation 2. So the first thing I'm going to do is not to carry on doing the elimination or substitution method, but I'm going to take out a calculator. In your calculator, there's the equation mode. So you see equation over here. And the first one, ax plus by equals to c. So I press 1 and we have 6 numbers here. Now these are supposed to be the coefficients of the x, the y and the constant term on the right hand side. Just like this. Which is why we have to arrange them in order before we start to key them into the calculator. So what we have here will be 5 equals 2 equals 7 equals 6 equals, the y here has got a negative 5 coefficient, so I'm going to key it with the sign negative 5 equals, and then I have 1. So the first thing I'll do is to key in these numbers into the calculator, and I get an answer x is equals to 1 and y is equals to 1. Which means to say that before I even do the question, I already know what the answers are, and that's really going to help me, okay? I'm going to use elimination method to solve this equation. I'll take the equation 1 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25x plus 2 times 5 is 10. Plus 7 times 5 is 35, and that's equation 3. I'll take equation 2 times 2. 6 times 2 is 12x. Negative 5 times 5 is, oh sorry, I forgot a y here. 2 times 5 is 10y is equals to 1 times 2 is 2. Equation 4. The reason why I do this is so that I can have equal coefficients for 10y. And I can add up these two equations. I have equation 3 plus equation 4. Okay, if I add up these two, 25 plus 12 is 37x. 10 plus negative 10 is 0. 35 plus 2 is 37. So now x will be equals to 37 divided by 37, which is 1. So by this time, I know that I'm on the right track because I got the answer that I'm supposed to get. X equals to 1. Now I'll carry on and sub x equals to 1 into just one of the equations. So let's say I have equation 2, 6x, x which is 1, minus 5y is equals to 1. So negative 5y is equals to 1 minus 6, and y is equals to 1 minus 6 is negative 5 divided by negative 5, and that gives us 1. So therefore x equals to 1 and y is equals to 1. As expected. Alright, so this method is very useful because we are able to know the answers even before we start writing the questions. And by this time, if you don't get x equals to 1, one of two things has happened. Either you key in the numbers wrongly, or something wrong happened here. And you are able to immediately rectify it. Rather than wait till here, many students, they will check the calculator after they reach here. But if this was wrong, you should have found out earlier on. And you'll be able to save a lot of time doing this. The second type of question that we must get correct are quadratic equations. It says here, solve the quadratic equation 5x squared minus 7x minus 3 equals to 0. Now, typically I will use the quadratic formula where x is equals to negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So from here we can see that a is 5, B is -7 and C is -3. From here, I'll substitute all these numbers in. Negative B, which is -7, is +7, plus minus square root of B squared, which is -7 squared, minus 4AC over 2A, which is 2 times 5. Now, if you're going to key in this into the calculator as it is exactly, it can be quite error prone because there are so many numbers to key in. So what we're going to do is to take out the calculator again, and we will press mode, equation, quadratic. Okay, the quadratic equation is number 3 here. Ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. So as we see here, it's already arranged in such a form. If it is not already in this form, then you have to arrange it in such a way that you have an x squared term, x term, constant term equals to 0. So we press 3 here, and yeah, we just key in 5, -7, -3. 5 equals, -7 equals, and -3 equals. Equals again, we have our first answer here, which is 1.74, correct the 3 significant figures. Or press equal again, and our second answer is -0.344. Correct the 3 significant figures. Yeah, so once I've shown it working, I can just press mode, equation, and solve the equation using the calculator. Okay, I won't be faulted for cheating because I already showed it working, and no one knows whether I use that or I actually key in this in the calculator, right? So I won't be faulted and I'll get my full marks. Now we're going to look at an equation, just the general normal equation that we're going to solve, and we're going to ensure that the answer is correct. So here it says solve the equation 3p over 8 minus p plus 2 over 4 is equals to 0. For this equation where there are denominators, the first thing to do is to eliminate them, and I'm going to multiply by the LCM of the denominators, which is 8. So if this is multiplied by 8, we have a 3p because the 8 denominator cancels. 8 over 4 is 2, so we have 2 times p plus 2 is equals to 0. Expand it. Make sure this negative sign is given to the 2 times 2, which is 4, equals to 0. 3p minus 2p is p, and p, the 4 bring over, and p equals to 4. Right, so from here, how do we know if this is going to be definitely correct? What we do is to substitute this p equals to 4 into the equation. Okay, now you don't have to write proper working for it because it's just a check. So you can just take out a calculator. So what we're going to do here is to substitute the value of p, which is 4, into this equation, and we're going to check if the result is indeed equals to the right hand side, which is 0. So I'm going to have 3 times 4 over 8 minus p is 4, and then so we have fraction again, 4 plus 2, then over 4. Yes, indeed it is 0. So now the left hand side is equal to the right hand side, and we are sure that this is definitely correct. So these are simple ways to make sure that your equation questions will definitely 100% be correct. Okay, it takes habit to always be checking. Please check out my other videos on checking for mistakes if you're not convinced on the importance of checking for mistakes. So that's all I have for this video. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much, and see you in the next video.